How do you improve your team during bye week?
There's a lot of things we're going to do. Some self-scouting. Our guys were out on the road yesterday, recruiting. We're coming back today. We're looking at ourselves. We're going to dissect everything, offensively, defensively, and special teams. Look at the things we're doing well, which is going to be a lot of things. Look at the things that we must and will improve, and that's what this week's going to be about.
You've been a master here in your time in Baton Rouge in blocking out the noise. That's been your message to the public and inside the locker room. You've done a great job of that with your team. What's more difficult, having expectations not met with the noise or setting records every weekend?
Yeah, I think it's really going back to telling the truth and looking at the film and keeping the guys into the fundamentals, into the techniques, and seeing that where every week we can improve. Although we're doing some things that are very well, there's some things that we need to improve to get to where we want to go as a football team.
There's definitely absolutely. There's always things that you can improve on, but I do want to stay on this offense just for a second, Coach, because so much is made about it this offseason. We talked about it constantly. You said it was going to change. A lot of people didn't believe you. Well, not only has it changed, but it is quite literally the number one scoring offense in the country. 57.5 points per game. Like, has this offense exceeded even your expectations? Like, I'm sure you thought they were going to be good. Did you know they were going to be this good?
We have to look throughout the whole season, T-Bob. As you know, we're going to be playing a lot better defenses coming up. We're going to get into the teeth of SEC play. There's going to be some challenges. So let's see where we end up. I do believe that, yes, they're a little bit better than we thought that we would be at this point of the season, but we have some challenges coming up. We have some protection issues coming up. We have some big-time defensive linemen coming up. So let's see how we do through SEC play, then we can talk.
Yeah, that's fair. Definitely some good teams left in this schedule. I want to pick your brain about something that actually Coach Will Wade talked about that he was impressed with, just from a coaching perspective. He was watching y'all, and yes, the offense is so different, but what stands out to him is that although it was such a big transition, the transition's been so smooth. Like, the operation has been so smooth, not a lot of penalties, everybody's on the same page. What's been the key to y'all as a staff being able to communicate and make this transition like y'all have?
First of all, as you know, Steve Ensminger is the general of offense, and he gets in there, and there's a lot of good ideas that Joe Brady has brought in the spread offense, and we got it from him. And this is mainly the Saints passing game, the RPOs from Penn State. But Steve is the one that regulates everything. So, we can do this, we can't do that. He calls most of the plays, so you got to give him the credit for keeping everything balanced. Now, we do have to run the football better. We do have to be able to control the clock better. We did a study yesterday. Our touchdown scoring drives are averaging 1 minute and 48 seconds. So that's good. That's really good.
That is
really
so
good for the offense, but it gives a challenge for the defense to go back and not much rest. So there's going to be some substitution. We have to create some depth on defense because we want to keep on scoring. But there'll be some times where we're going to have to control the ball and, run the football a little bit better. So those are some of the things we can work on this week.
Is the biggest challenge that this offense provides in-house is more plays for your defense on the field?
We looked at that, Jordy, and we have only 68. We have 68 plays compared to maybe 62 the year before. So the amount of plays, it's not the amount of plays, it's the amount of rests that we're getting on the sideline. So we're going to have to figure out a way either to substitute our guys, because we want to keep on scoring, or be able to have some ball control when we need that rest after a quick scoring drive.
You mentioned Brady and Ensminger. One more coach I want to highlight is Greg McMahon. You had a punt block last weekend. Your hands team makes a play. Cade York's been spectacular. Trey Palmer has a return. Stingley back there. The special teams, Coach, the improvement that you've made there.
Yeah. Greg's been a force for us. And when I left the Saints, a coach that I wish I could ever have on my staff was Greg McMahon. And he's a great recruiter. He's a great evaluator. He's recruited all these kids, all these kickers. I just tell him, I asked him, Greg, what do you think? And he said, I think this guy can kick, and he's right on every one of them. He handles all the special teams. He does a phenomenal job. I think he gets to work at 3:30 in the morning, leaves at 10 at night. The guy's just a great, great football coach.
That's, oh man, I see why I'm in radio. Go to coaching. Talking to head coach of LSU football, Ed Orgeron, here on Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN. Coach, we talked a lot of O-line on this show. And, and like we said, we're looking for areas of improvement, nitpicking a bit. And I focused a lot on Adrian McGee and a lot of the times this year that's been in a negative light. But how about the double pancake that Adrian McGee had last week? Have y'all had a team meeting? Have you been able to show that play to the team yet?
Yeah, I'll show it today, and that might be a turnaround. He may get a turnaround for that one.
I mean, it was unbelievable, man. But kind of okay. So kind of in line with that though, it was announced on Friday, right before the game, that Ed Ingram has been officially cleared to return to this team. So kind of give us where's the kind of plan for Ingram. He obviously hasn't played football in a while.
Yeah, well, he's been working out. He seems like he's in very good shape. We're so happy for Ed. Yeah, he's a great human being. He's a great part of our staff. I mean, our football team. He's an integral part of our football team. He's probably one of our best linemen. So, obviously, we're going to be putting him into a starting role when he earns it. That will give us flexibility with Adrian McGee, that he can either play guard or tackle, probably be a swing guy for us, but Adrian is playing very well.
Yeah.
So we're just going to let it all fit in, but it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, definitely. And then on the opposite side of the ball, Coach, defensive line, one guy that I think had a lot of pressure on him coming into the year and has absolutely lived up to it is Tyler Shelvin. I know that he's been a guy that's you've had to work with a lot through the years to get him to this moment. So I guess how validating has that been for you to see him wearing 72 and doing right by that number?
I'm proud of Big T. Now, he's still a work in process. He still has to lose some weight. His practice habits have been improving. And I thought he played very, very well against Vanderbilt. And, in fact, he's played well all season now. There's some things that he needs to get better at, continue to get better at, but right now he's our most consistent defensive lineman.
Coach, when you dive deeper into the assessment of your defense through the first quarter of the season, through the first 4 games, what have you seen from that side of the ball? What's been the communication with Aranda?
We've done a lot of good things. We started off against Georgia Southern and had one heck of a game and stopped a big-time option attack. We played a good half against Texas. We had a great goal line stance. We didn't play good in the second half. And we didn't play good in the first half against Northwestern. In Vanderbilt, we missed some tackles. So there's some things that we get fixed on defense. But you know what? Getting Kelvin Chasson back, Rashard Lawrence back, Glenn Lowen back, that will alleviate a lot of those problems. But we still need to be working on the fundamentals, being in the right place, being in the right gap, and tackling. That's all defense is.
How's Michael Divinity after last Saturday?
He's going to be okay. I think it might be a couple of weeks, but it's not as bad as it looks on the film.
Coach, you mentioned missed tackles. How do you practice missed tackles in kind of the modern era of football where not only do you don't want to expose guys to too much risk in practice, I guess, how do you practice that part of the game?
We spent the whole day yesterday on every missed tackle. We had 18 missed tackles.
Wow.
For 148 yards against Vanderbilt, and I watched every one of them. I had some analysts in here. We analyzed everything. I called some other coaches that I knew, sent them the film. We looked at it, and we're going over the technique and the footwork and the placement of the defensive player before he makes the tackle. I think all those things, the approach and the footwork, all those things you can work on now. The actual tackle part of, we're going to have to tackle some in practice, especially in the open field. But they have that donut. You can, that little thing, that little donut, that little rugby-style tackling thing that you can tackle. But we have been practicing it on tackle. We've been practicing tackling a bunch, and we still have a ways to go.
LSU head football coach Ed Orgeron joining us here off the bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. Through 4 games this season, Coach, your quarterback has more completions, passing yards, passing touchdowns than any player in school history over that span. You told us coming into the offseason, in a quarterback, you look for that toughness, kind of like that Bobby Hebert quality. To me, Coach, when he was on the sideline Saturday, it looked a little bit like a young Bobby. What have you made of your quarterback?
He's got it. We're proud of him. Proud of Joe. Believe in Joe. Joe's very smart. He's tough. He's a team player. All he wants to do is win. He doesn't care anything about accolades. He's very smart with the football, knows where to go. He has a great group of wide receivers. They're very close. I'm really pleased with the offensive line, the way we were protecting and giving him time. And now when Joe gets flushed out of the pocket, he can make plays on his feet. I thought the play he made against Texas was a phenomenal football play.
I mean, it's that 3rd and 17 is a highlight that's going to live in a lot of LSU fans' memories for a long time. You mentioned the wide receivers, Coach, and I mean the group there. After years of talking about it, we're like finally seeing it, right? That group looks unreal right now. I feel terrible for Terrace Marshall, though. Can you give us a little update on Terrace's situation?
Yeah. Obviously, we had him taken care of right away on Sunday morning, and we're gonna see. I think that he's going to come back a little quicker from this injury than most people because of the work of Jack Marucci and his staff. As you guys know, they're phenomenal. I do believe that you're going to see him again this year. I don't know when, but hopefully we get him back towards the latter part of the season.
You mentioned John Robinson handing you some notes on Sunday mornings and encouraging you to get these younger backs involved. It seems like those guys are starting to catch up.
Yeah, they are. I think that John Emery and Tyron Davis has proved that they can be elite backs in LSU. I like Leonard Fournette. I like Chris Curry. I love Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We need all 5 of them. Need all 5.
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting. Clyde's almost like the fans keep clamoring for the younger guys, but what's your evaluation about Clyde has played so far? Because to me, he looks like one of the main engines behind this offense.
Oh, yeah. No question. This offense is built for Clyde, the way he can run the football, the way he has a great base, great balance. He's excellent with his feet, excellent vision, can catch the ball out the backfield, does everything we want to do, and I love his leadership.
So how's the schedule work this week, Coach, with recruiting and on-the-field duties?
Yeah, our guys, we had a great day on recruiting yesterday. Our guys are all over the place. We back today's Tell the Truth Monday. Tomorrow will be a Tuesday practice. Thursday will be a Thursday practice. Then we're out on the road recruiting. And then I'm going to cheer the McNeese State Cowboys Saturday night.
Yes, indeed. How's those Orgeron boys looking down in Lake Charles?
Doing good. They're loving it. McNeese has been a good place. Going to the starting quarterback. Actually, Parker Orgeron has had 5 concussions. He can't play anymore, so he's coming to school at LSU. He's going to get his degree from LSU. How about that?
Hey,
great.
Nice.
That's great,
Congrats,
Coach. It's great to catch up with you this morning. You got one of the hottest teams in college football right now. I know that you're blocking out the noise, and thank you for the time this morning.
Go Tigers.
You got it. There he is,
Tigers.
Coach.